Hi, everyone. Can you just confirm whether you can hear my audio? Okay, great. So I hope that everyone is having a great day. So today we are going to have our Agile Project Management virtual information session where we are going to be talking about our Agile Project Management program, what you can expect from the program, and then if you want to further your career in Agile Project Management, how you can do so as well. So I have Mr. Eliud Ramakan with me, and he is known as the project management guru. He's also going to be the facilitator for our Agile Project Management program. So he is going to talk to you today about everything that you need to know about Agile Project Management and how you can enhance your project management career and be more adaptable and agile as well. Just to give a little bit of insight into Mr. Ramakan, he is a certified project management professional. He has a wealth of experience in project management, and he's also certified in both the project management professional certification and the Agile Certified Practitioner certification as well. And he also is the author of the globally recognized Ramakan #1 PMP exam prep book. So I'm going to let Mr. Ramakan, Eliud, or LG as he likes to be called, I would like him to give more information about himself and then also to tell you about our program. You can take it away, Eliud.
Thank you so much, Bridget, and good afternoon, good evening to you all. I see that we have quite a full house this afternoon, and thank you for your interest in this program, Agile Project Management, offered by the UWI Cave Hill campus, particularly the Sagicor Cave Hill School of Business and Management. Your choice to be able to have that advantage and edge in today's evolving business landscape. Now, I'll be sharing my screen, and I just ask Bridget if you can just allow me to share. Awesome. Great. All right. Okay. So you should be seeing my screen coming up shortly. Let me make sure that you're seeing the right screen. Yes. All right. Great. All right. Okay. All right, so I'm LG. I'm your facilitator for this course. It is really an 8 class. It says 8-day on the screen, but 8 class course, with a bonus class, making it 9 classes in all, and that takes you through all the necessary aspects of Agile project management in a very holistic way, one in which helps you to, as the first class shows, to be an effective project manager all around. And then we get into getting over the Agile hump. Hump here is an acronym for history, understanding the mindset, manifesto, and practices of Agile. So we help to ground you in terms of ground the understanding of Agile, to recognize that Agile is not new. It's actually something that started from as early as the 1940s, but over time, through technological developments and the increased speed and scale at which business is done, and the important role of projects to facilitate that transformation, Agile project management has come into full form. In class 3, we look at project life cycles, as there are various types of approaches to be able to do projects. One of them being the adaptive life cycle, where the agile practices live. And then we look at how to think, be, and do agile, and to be able to wrap our mind around what that truly means. And then in class 5, we look at how the agile process works. Then we tailor the various agile practices. There are going to be 12 practices that we're going to be covering for the course. And then we get into a very important approach that we call the WOW, which is the ways of working, finding your WOW. So the beauty about this course is that unlike taking, say, a certification in Scrum or certification in SAFe or one of those other Agile practices, which are very specific to that approach, this course takes you through a wide menu of approaches, what we call ways of working, to be as effective as possible. And then the last two classes is really to really bring everything together through group activities, all day group activities or all class group activities. And then our bonus class, class 9, we look at ACP preparations. That is preparations for the PMI Agile Certified Practitioner exam. Now, I mean, right throughout the course, the content is all geared towards certification, but this bonus class helps to meet a new requirement by PMI. PMI means Project Management Institute, where now instead of just 21 hours of education in Agile, that used to be the minimum requirement. Now it is 27, 28 hours of education. And so 9 times 3 gives you 27. And 2 of the classes, we go beyond the 3 hours to 3.5 hours to make sure that by the 9th class, you've covered up to 28 hours of education, which is now the new minimum requirement, meaning just since the last 4 months or so, it's now a new requirement to be eligible to take the PMI-ACP exam. So that's why there's a bonus class. So what you may see in your in the information that you may have received about the course is that the course ends on it starts on the 2nd of September. That's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday-Thursday stream, and it ends on the 30th. The 23rd, there would not be any class. So it's a no class day. So from 2nd to 30th, that's 8 classes. And so therefore, we'll have another class, class 9, which is the bonus class, especially for those who are now preparing for the PMI-ACP exam for more detailed information on that to be given on the 2nd of October, that last class, that 9th class. All right. So when it comes on to PMI certification, the big thing about it is that it really helps accelerate your career. So you have joined this webinar coming from various backgrounds, various levels of awareness of project management, or you maybe even had some past training in project management and not necessarily agile project management. Well, the suite of certifications that PMI offers helps you to be able to stand out in your job, stand out from the crowd, to be able to be future-proof, recession-proof, pandemic-proof, and also new to the curriculum is to be AI-proof in the sense that, as you may have heard, it's not that AI will be replacing jobs. It is those who use AI will be replacing those who don't use AI. So therefore, a very important thread throughout this course is to be able to apply artificial intelligence tools to level up your effectiveness and efficiency in project management. So that will help you to increase employability, to demonstrate superior performance in your projects. And of course, we are also interested in the holistic approach to not just project management, but also project leadership. So enhancing your leadership skills so that you can be able to meet the increasing challenges that projects face in today's world. Now, just to give you a little background of what PMI is, we have just a short video just to take you through here, which will just welcome you to what we call the project economy. So let me just make sure that the sound is set. And here we go.
"50 years ago, when PMI was founded, project management wasn't a thing yet. But thanks to a fearless group of visionaries and passionate project leaders like you, project management is now a global profession. Every day, everywhere, we transform ideas into reality. But the world of work is changing fast, really fast. So is our profession, and so is PMI. We are expanding our focus, broadening the stories we tell and the roles we play, from start to finish, from inputs to outcomes, from frameworks to whatever works. With your help, we are building a world where people have the skills and capabilities they need to deliver value, no matter what project they're working on. It's a world where organizations deliver value to stakeholders through successful completion of projects, delivery of products, and alignment to value streams. We call this world the project economy. And at PMI, we power the project economy, strengthening society by enabling organizations and empowering people to turn ideas into reality. As we look ahead to our next 50 years, what role will you play?
Okay, so that was just a short clip to welcome you to the project economy. Now, when we usually think about an economy, I mean, we may think about increasing employment, inflation, and increasing production, output, that sort of thing, to know that an economy is growing. Well, an interesting twist to look at an economy is to look at the number of projects that are happening on the ground, whether it is construction projects, service-based projects, tech development, research development projects. The more projects and the more successful they are, augurs well for a more successful and growing economy. So therefore, the project economy is one in which people have the skill sets, the capabilities that are needed to turn ideas into reality. And the scale, the proportion, the level of transparency needed, the value expected, the level of accountability right through the process of turning ideas into reality has become even more concentrated and even more legislated from various professions and respects towards producing quality output, quality outcomes in a project. So that is from the completion of projects, to deliver products, and alignment to value streams, not just to be financially successful, but also to have the balance, whether it is environmental, in the context of climate change, and other aspects to ensure the project is truly succeeding. And what we're seeing is that there's an increasing share of projects happening in any economy. Back in the day, most of the work activities were operational in the agricultural age. Then they've had the industrial age, which would have now built factories, which were still operational in the majority of cases. And as we were able to improve the products, improve the infrastructure, that has led us towards the information age, thanks to computing, the internet, etc. More and more projects have been used to drive these changes. Now, you may think that we're still in the information age. We have gone successively into other ages where ages are no longer one or two millennia. The eras are now in decades. We're shifting from the 2000s to the 2010s. We shifted from the information age to the attention age, where we already know that data is the new oil, in a sense, in terms of the mining of data and the companies that can mine the data, such as the Microsofts and the IBMs of the 1980s into the late 1990s, 2000s. We had another breed of companies that were able to dial into your attention. We're talking about the Facebooks or the Metas now. We're talking about the Amazons that are able to know what you want to buy next, and the many other different products by Apple and others that have really created projects around the view that attention is the most precious and valuable resource that you can extract. And shifting from the attention age, which of course social media would have played a huge part in, as well as mobile technology, moving towards the age of AI, which is really the 2030s, we're maturing, we're in the early baby stages of AI, which finds us in this blended age in the 2020s, where the projects of today's world are the ones that are able to find intersections between different disciplines and different existing demands for products and services to create new blends. So whether it is through robot human intelligence, through artificial intelligence, lots of projects are now being created, done in that space, blended biology, wearable technology, nanotechnology, brain-computer interfaces, blended identity, where your digital identity and your physical identity are playing in the same sandbox, where your digital identity is becoming more reliable and more real in a sense than even your physical identity. And then with threats such as deep fakes and other kinds of manipulations, does add to the additional need for safety, security as you develop these different products. And then blended reality, when you think about, say, augmented reality, that's AR, virtual reality, VR, mixed reality, voice assistants such as Alexa, Google, etc., blended with AI, with ChatGPT, etc., all create new surface area on the Rubik's Cube of innovation, where projects can start and flourish. And so therefore, this course, Agile Project Management, really helps to give you the mindset, the skill set, the tool set, which will play to be your greatest asset in delivering quality projects. So the importance of Agile Project Management has a lot to do with the transformation in terms of the speed, the scale, the transparency in the digital space, which has unlocked a new value. And therefore, organizations either have to adapt or die. So in a sense, what we try to show in this course is for students to wake up to the 4D reality, which requires true agility. And these 4Ds are digital, diversity, diseases, and disasters. And to appreciate the interplay between these in order to be adaptable, flexible, to be resilient as you go about your projects, knowing that there will be failures or there will be setbacks, and you have to be able to continue through new pathways, around obstacles and on top of obstacles, not just to think outside the box, but to turn over the box and stand on it, to be able to see a wider horizon ahead, to be able to meet the new challenges of today. The great thing about this this course is that we make it very relatable. You know, we don't just say, okay, let's get into projects immediately and do things the Agile way. We also just break it down, such as we ask, you're driving from your neighbor's house to your house. What do you need to do to get that done? Or you need to wash dishes. How do you do that in an Agile way? Or you're driving along a unknown path, unknown highway, road or so, going where there's rain, fog, and so forth. How will you navigate that as a team? And then to relate those concepts to the concepts that we will learn in the course. Now, I know that you may have some questions on your mind, especially relating to the PMI-ACP exam. So this course is more than just an introduction to Agile Project Management. It is really setting up for greater success, international success, by being able to sit the PMI-ACP exam. Now, this exam is an external exam to the course. So having completed the course, that doesn't mean that you're PMI-ACP certified. ACP here meaning Agile Certified Practitioner. You having gone through the course, you would have learned all that you need to know in order to pass the exam. So generally, students who meet the minimum requirements for the Agile Certified Practitioner exam to take it, we recommend that within 1 month to 4 months after taking the course that you do the exam. Because anytime longer than that, you're likely to forget everything that you'd have learned. Now, for the PMI Agile Certified Practitioner certification, the price for the course, for the exam itself, ranges in the 400s in terms of US dollars. What we've seen since COVID is that PMI has offered an even cheaper rate than what you're seeing here on the screen. But what generally works very well is when you become a member of PMI, where you're able to save. No matter what, when you're a member, you save on the price of the exam. For the Caribbean, Latin America, it's roughly in the early 400s. Now, there have been some very recent changes in terms of the minimum requirements for the PMI-ACP. Now, it's no longer 21 hours, it's now 28 hours. That's a reason for our bonus class, which ensures that you can meet the 28 hours. And in terms of general project management experience, now it's requiring 24 months of project management experience, where you're able to show how you've gone about projects in some form of flexible way that can be attributed to one or more agile practices. Now, don't worry, in this course, we help to take you through projectizing your past. So you may have done projects, may not have been in a formal way or so, but we're able to help you tally or log your project management hours to be able to see, how much you have and what would be considered a traditional approach of projects versus a more flexible, agile approach of projects. And we take you through so that once you're complete with the course, you know how many months of project experience you have that are eligible for the exam and how much more you may need to go in order to do the exam itself. It really helps you to be able to be in a ready position, even if it's going to take a bit more time than normal or more time than what we expect for you to be able to do the PMI-ACP exam. The course really sets you up for success. The beauty of both the course is that after finishing the course, all materials are still available, and you have access to me, your facilitator, to help coach you through as you land towards your exam date. Now, some of you may have heard about the PMP, and you may be wondering, what's the difference between the PMP and PMI-ACP, and should I just hold off on the ACP and just focus on the PMP? Well, the PMP requires a minimum of 3 years of project management experience, typically with some kind of leadership edge where you coordinate to manage projects. So the PMP is really geared towards executive project managers or project leaders, while the PMI-ACP is really focused on being an agile, expert agile practitioner and agile coach. Now, the PMP covers much more, and therefore, the exam itself is a longer exam and is more rigorous. The PMI-ACP focuses really on one of the 5 project life cycles, which is the agile life cycle. The other life cycles, the predictive approach, traditional approach, that the PMI-ACP does not cover. The PMP covers that and more. So for the PMP, it's more project-oriented, while the PMI-ACP, as you learn in the course, is more product-oriented. It is based on the 2001 Agile principles, which have a software development focus, while the PMP is based on the project management principles, which are applied to not just technology-based driven projects, but all sorts of projects in between. No, I mean, what I think is a good goal overall is to be able to attain both certifications within a reasonable horizon for your own career. And the PMI-ACP is definitely the trending certification that has matured pretty well in a number of different industries that will definitely be that differentiator and that asset as you see to pivot and to grow in your career. While the PMP has been seen as a gold standard of project management on a more general executive scale for projects. Now, just in terms of comparison between the two, the ACP has less questions, 120 questions over 3 hours, while the PMP is more, generally speaking, more in terms of money, and also more in terms of work experience, and more in terms of the amount of continuous education that will be needed after you get the credential to maintain the credential. Okay. For the PMI-ACP, after you've gotten the credential, it's valid for 3 years, and you need to attain 30 hours of continuous education, what we call PDUs, professional development units, in order to maintain the credential after those 3 years. So this is what the course is really about. It's really to prepare you to be able to navigate through the many different agile practices that will help you to have that edge of efficiency and effectiveness to be able to successfully manage projects. Now, the PMI provides a wide array of project management certifications. This course is focused on the PMI-ACP. There are other courses at the Cave Hill School of Business and Management that we track you towards, depending on your career path and your credential goals. For this course, it allows you to attain the PMI-ACP, or prepare you enough to attain it. We do have other courses. For example, later on in the year, we have our Advanced Contemporary Project Management course, which can prepare you for the PMP exam as well, and also is sufficient enough to prepare you to do both the PMP and the PMI-ACP if you have the amount of work experience already to be able to do both. All right, so that's a quick synopsis of essentially what it's all about. The goal of the course, after learning about the traditional agile practices, is really to be able to be certified after it. And we take you through from beginning to end, utilizing the PMBOK guide, 7th edition, as well as Agile Practice Guide, so that you're able to be properly informed, knowledgeable enough to be able to tackle the many different questions that may be on that exam. But if you're just here just to learn more about project management and to be able to have a better rigor in terms of how projects are supposed to be managed, this course helps you to differentiate between the waterfall traditional approach versus the agile approach. It allows you to be able to differentiate the characteristics of an agile project. We look at the 5 Fs, the Ramakan 5 Fs of agile: fast, frequent, flexible, functional, feedback, to help you better appreciate what an agile project is about and how that is different from generally other kinds of projects. So Agile Project Management, as I conclude, is a very important critical skill set in project management. We, of course, have general management skills, traditional project management skills, but Agile project management skills goes beyond just the disciplinary, multidisciplinary prisms, perspectives. It really pushes you towards the transdisciplinary approach to managing projects, where the speed of change, the greater needs for transparency, and the fast rate of technology adoption requires you to be able to research quickly, design quickly, deliver the minimum viable products quickly, and to be able to adopt the right kind of mindset, values, principles, practices, along with the tools and processes to be able to most effectively manage your team and to deliver the results that are needed. And this is done by going through the variety of agile practices, ranging from Kanban to Lean to feature-driven development methods. And also, to scale up the agile practices, we also look at the Scrum approach, also the large-scale Scrum of Scrums, the SAFe methodology, and discipline agile delivery approach, all of which helps you to have a wider toolkit, a more blended skill set to be able to navigate the complexities of today's projects that demand much more from the team in less time to deliver. So with that, I open the floor for questions regarding the course. I am happy to answer questions now.
Okay, thank you so much, Eliud. So we do have a question going back to the prerequisites for the PMI-ACP. So someone would have asked if, I know in the prerequisites it would have mentioned the hours for the Agile and for traditional. So they were asking if it is an either or if you have to have both the hours for the Agile and the traditional.
Okay, so what is required to know is in order to do the exam, the external exam, is to have 2 years of experience, generally speaking, right? Within which you're able to show evidence of Agile practices. Now, even if you weren't applying Agile practices by name, more than likely in the form of activity that you're doing, we can name it while you're doing the course and to help you justify that you do have Agile project manager experience to some extent. For the PMP, you're required to have 3 years worth of experience in that regard. For the ACP, you're required to have 2 years. Okay? And you can go on PMI.org. On the certifications, you'll see the PMI-ACP, as well as the other certifications to be able to get more details in terms of the prices. As you can see here, the prices are cheaper now. No, this is right. See, are cheaper now. And there are a lot more resources available in terms of how you can best be qualified to do the exam after you've completed this course.
Okay, thank you. And Sasha, who would have asked the question, also thanks you for your response. It seems like you answered excellently. So now we are going to talk about the course. Well, really, you covered pretty much it in its entirety, Eliud, but we're going to cover just the cost and again reiterate the dates of the program. And then we're going to show you the links that you can go to apply to register for our program as well. And we have the QR codes. So Sharasan, if you could just share that screen so persons can have that information. And in the meantime, if there are any other questions as it relates to the course itself, or even in terms of the exam, or in terms of how you can apply Agile, I like that Eliud would have spoken to the act of not only having it as a framework, but, an actual mindset. So having that, living Agile, learning Agile and living Agile, and I like that. So it's really about more than just doing this course to complete projects. Is really about having that mindset to be able to be successful in your career, your organization. And then if you're looking to go and pursue that career in project management as a certified Agile practitioner, then you can have those qualifications as well. So the program is going to be from September 2nd to 30th, as Eliud would have stated before. The cost of the program is $750 US. And it is live online, which means that you do not have to be physically present at the Cave Hill School of Business and Management to be able to take the program. You can take it, it has that flexibility, and it is live online, which means that you will be interacting directly with Eliud. But in the event that you may not be able to attend a class, then you do have that ability to still have access to the content. So it does have that flexibility as well. And then you also have that ability to engage with your peers throughout the region. So you are able to apply things that you've learned and really join the discussion of applying those Agile principles and techniques with persons throughout the region. The courses that we have here are very practical. We don't focus on theoretical learning only. It's mostly practical, and Elliot, you can definitely dive into that deeper so that persons can know. Someone was asking about the practicality of it.
This course is very practical, right? Theory is not going to take you, it's not really going to take you much places when you need to get things done in a jiffy. So we really show you the practical techniques to be able to deliver high quality in a very short time. Though it may sound like a like oxymoron, right? High quality speed, but that's what the agile practices really help you to do. So we look at how you can focus on the high priority, high visibility tasks, and how you're able to break it down in a way that you're able to understand what is the minimum requirement to be able to have something that is usable, have something that won't fall apart, but is won't fall apart, but still there is more work to be done over time so that you can appease the customers or appease the demand and to be able to develop from there. So very, very practical. Of course, there is the general concepts, but it's not the theoretical, mathematical kind of approach to it. It's very, very hands-on. We look at, yes, case studies, both in the tech industry and the non-tech industry. What you'd find is that a number of agile courses are kind of stuck in techie related case studies. But the agile profession, which is over 20 years old now, 25 years old basically, and now has proven that the application of these practices are also very useful for large-scale bureaucratic governmental organizations that don't have a technology core, but need to be able to innovate and to be able to deliver on their mandate faster and at a higher level of quality. And it's practical in the sense that we will be utilizing some AI tools to be able to show you how you can level up as a project manager in terms of your reporting, in terms of your analysis, in terms of your business case development, in terms of your collaboration, your meeting management. All these things matter when it comes on to delivering projects and delivering value fast. I can skip to the next question. See here, is that okay? It says, can you speak more to how you usually go about helping prove hours experience to take external exams? Right, so what we do in the first class is that we share a specially designed Excel file allows you to log your experience, your project hours. And there are a few technicalities to it in terms of if you're doing 3 projects concurrently, like if you're doing 3 projects that last 3 months and they're being done all at the same time, that's counted as 3 months, not 3 months times 3 projects, right? So there's some technicalities there that the spreadsheet takes care of. It calculates all that for you to be able to get a sense of how much work experience you have so far. In your description, you're able to know breakdown, and this is the reason why you need to do the course. You're able to, as you learn the different concepts in the course, able to break down or to projectize your past to determine to what extent were you applying some of these concepts without knowing the names of them, but applying them, which makes some of those projects agile in nature or adaptive in nature. You can't do that outside of the course. It is only by getting into the course you're able to properly prepare your application for the certified exam. So you got to get your hands dirty, got to get involved. The revelation is in the activity itself by getting into the course and getting immersed into what Agile is all about, and then being able to emerge as a competent Agile practitioner. I see another question here. I'm now starting out in project management. Should I do the course or contemporary project management? Okay, so if you're just starting out in project management, meaning you have 0 project management experience, I would recommend doing doing the contemporary project management course. It does give a solid base, especially if you're planning on working towards doing the CAPM, which is the international certification that PMI provides for zero work experience. But you have a lot of head knowledge, but no practical real world experience. That course really helps you to be able to attain the CAPM, which is a Certified Associate in Project Management. So if you go on the PMI website, you'll be able to see more details on that. Another question, can I do the course without having experience? Okay, so yes, you can do the course without having experience. This course is a very actionable course. To do this course, you don't need to be focused on any certification. If you just want to be better at your job, if you want to be able to get new skill sets that are PMI approved, that will help you know to be able to level up in your career. This is, I think, the best course that you can choose, even if you're not thinking of doing any form of certification. All right, so we don't have that limit, but of course we have to share it with you upfront that there are special requirements for the external exam if you are so minded to do that. I see another one says, I am a senior police inspector in Bermuda, having managed and developed several policies. Can I do this course with this experience? Yes. So policy development is a project activity. It's a series of activities. To develop policies, you have to do consultation, you have to go do your research preparation. There are different stages to be able to get the policy out, and even the renewal of the policy, re-looking pre-existing policies to be able to improve on that are projects. So if you've been doing that for a while, you have a lot of project experience. So what many of us will find is that we may have been doing things, just thinking that this is just normal work. We don't consider it a project. But when you look back, once you can identify a beginning and an end and certain outputs that you'd have produced that would have added value, there we go. You're able to define it as a project, and we're able to log that as part of your project experience. And even better, when you would have been required to make changes along the way, which many projects require, you have that sufficient evidence to show that it's adaptive, and therefore it can fit within various agile practices. So you'll be able to show both traditional and also agile styled, agile, relevant practices in the projects that you've done in the past. Doing this course helps to confirm the chaos or confirm what you suspected as things that worked out well for you, and also give you the edge and the wisdom to know the difference between the things that didn't work out and why, and what you should be doing more often to be able to be more efficient and effective in your project endeavors.
So, Elliot, I think there was another question that
Oh,
was
yes?
put in the Q&A. So someone is considering CAPM. So they wanted to know your opinion in terms of prioritizing CAPM over, I assume they meant to say the PMI-ACP. So you can share that with us.
Okay. So the CAPM is a no experience needed exam, right? So say that you're now entering the project management profession and you want to pivot by having by being able to have an internationally recognized footing in project management. This would be really good. Now, if you want to take up, say, project manager roles, generally speaking, institutions are looking for people who have project management experience. Now, how can you get project management experience if you don't have the opportunity for project management experience? Well, at least what you can do at a minimum is to is to hold a certification to show that you're serious about this. And even though that you have zero experience in project management, you have an international level of seriousness and dedication to the profession. That's what the CAPM really provides for you. There's a special thing regarding the CAPM, unlike the other credentials, where once you have a credential, you don't have to do an exam again. You just need to keep in the loop, keep on being exposed to the latest stuff. For the CAPM, when you hold a CAPM credential, after doing the exam, it only lasts for 5 years. Okay. And the PMI is considering to shorten that period as well. And at the end of that 5 years or that period, you have to do over the exam to maintain the CAPM. Now, the idea of the CAPM, why it's designed that way, is that it's really a stepping stone for you to be able to do the PMP, the PMI-ACP, right? So that is really the deal breaker in terms of the CAPM. You have zero experience, go and pursue the CAPM. You need to have that competitive edge over someone who may have project experience but zero certification. You can have a certification with zero project management experience and be able to at least have that edge over them to be more competitive. Yeah, I think that helps answer that question. Trudy says here, the overall short-term aim is to level up my career. However, the long-term goal is obtain international accreditation in project management. Currently, I'm employed in a law firm as a senior paralegal with the main responsibility for residential commercial development projects. I've been in this role for over 5 years. So would this program be the best starting point for the long-term project management accreditation goal? Well, you have 5 years working with residential commercial development projects. That means you should be able to log that as some wealthy experience, which therefore means that you can do this course, which will prepare you to be able to attain a credential that requires work experience. So doing this course is a best fit for you. If you want to do the PMP, if you do this course alone, you would have covered basically 8% of the PMP requirements, right? We do have another course towards the end of the year, which is focused on the PMP, which is basically like this course plus some additional question tests and so on to help you prepare for the rigor of the PMP.
Okay, so any other persons that would want direct information about the course as well, or if you have any additional questions, you can definitely give your email address and we will reach out to you and ensure that you have, we're seeing a flood of emails coming through. So that is good. That is good. So if there are no other questions, Eliud, would you like to give any closing words, any final statements for the persons on the webinar?
Well, I just want to say, as I am eager to see you in class. The Agile Project Management course is really a cutting-edge course, the most cutting-edge course of all the project management courses that we have, given that we give you the opportunity to be AI-enabled, AI-powered, to be able to be more productive in what you do. I'll also just give a plug for a book that I came out with, which is really all about being agile. It has a pretty interesting name, and I think it may be useful for me to leave it in the chat. It is called Open Sesame: How to Make Money Without Money. Now, I'm going to copy and paste the link in the chat. For those of you that are planning on doing the course, and even if you don't necessarily plan on doing the course, this is definitely helpful. So All textbooks or all information materials for the course are provided by the course. All right. However, what I'm showing you here is a intriguing book which speaks about boosting your productivity and resourcefulness by becoming more agile. All right. So it's open sesame, how to make money without money, which is now going to test you. What else do you have to be able to bring value to the table? So it's a value first approach towards being productive. So I'd encourage you, to go on Instagram, money without money, or go to moneywithoutmoney.com. I was trying to type it in the chat, but it wasn't working. As you consider to do this course, as you're preparing for this course, it's an excellent read, and that will help you to really reorient your mind towards how you can be more productive, how you can be more resourceful in today's blended age, which we spoke about in this webinar today. So I hope that the information here motivates you, clarifies what you think is best for you as you seek to take off in your career, or to repivot from moving from where you are to something that is more project oriented. And this Agile Project Management course, I believe, will be very useful for you to be able to have that competitive edge that is needed in today's market, which is different than ever before, which requires more nimbleness, requires greater speed, greater focus on value, and to also apply artificial intelligence tools to be able to crank out more output much more quickly, and to be able to deliver value to those who need it most. So thank you, everyone, and please register. Also, as was encouraged, if you have other team members, other co-workers that may be interested in this course or may be useful for them, I know that the Cave Hill School of Management, Business and Management does have some offerings for group rates. Now is the time. We're in 2025, and as you can imagine, 2026 is going to really require you to have these skill sets that are being taught in this course for you to be able to thrive. So thank you very much. Thanks for joining this webinar.
Yes, and thank you, Eliud. And as you rightfully said, if you have a group of 3 or more persons and you want to be able to register, you will benefit from a 15% reduced rate. So definitely sign up, register with the Sagicor Cave Hill School of Business and Management, and make sure that you are part of this course. This is a very beneficial experience, as you would have heard today from Eliud. He would have broken it down in great detail. So definitely make sure that you visit our website. And if you want any more information, you can also contact us. And we have a wonderful program team which will be able to assist you and answer any questions that you may have.
Yes, I see one question here as we're about to leave.
Oh, yes, I was about to point that out as well.
Yes, so a certificate of completion for the course is issued once you have fulfilled the minimum requirements of attendance, and there's a post-test, pre-test and post-test. You're graded on the post-test. And the PMI certificate or certification, we call it, is once you have once you have passed exam, which is an external exam to the Cave Hill School of Business and Management.
Yes, so just to reiterate that, it will be officially called the Professional Development Certificate of Competence that you'll be getting from the program. And so, yeah, just register and, make sure that you do benefit from this program and all it has to offer. So I want to thank you again, Eliud, for giving us all of this knowledge today. And thank you to all of the participants, all of the attendees that were here today, and for your questions. Very engaging. And we really look forward to seeing you in our program. Have a great night, everyone.